Okay. I don't know, yeah, I don't know if it's true, it is. Yeah, yeah, it's exciting. Yeah.
Don't say word.
Can you push back the swearing in just a little bit?
Sure, yeah.
We'll do that for Officer Redmond. He's working midnights and over slacks.
No, that's fine. We can do it whenever. We just put it first because
That's
we didn't want to make them
Yeah.
wait around.
Yeah, we'll do the presentation and then.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's really funny.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Great.
We don't need him. Yeah.
All right, so, we also have the public hearing. We can open that.
Yeah,
I
let's do
don't
it.
see anyone here that can comment. No one's online.
Great.
So,
He's like.
you
I
guys,
know, it looks really weird.
we could wait a little bit for Essie, or she can just join. I don't want to. Why don't we start? Because you actually got to go at 8.
Yeah,
So we want
yeah,
to.
that's okay.
So, all right, so we'll just get started.
Oh, they're leaving?
All right.
Okay.
So I'd like to make a motion to open the February 2nd, 2023 New Paltz Town Board meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Hi.
And I'd like to make a motion to open the public, I guess we'll, why don't we do pledge of allegiance, then we'll do.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag
I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing on the town of New Paltz to adopt a certain local law entitled "A Local Law to Amend Chapter 27 Taxation of the Code of the Town of New Paltz to add a new Article 10 Volunteer Firefighter and Ambulance Worker Partial Tax Exemption."
Second.
All in favor?
Hi. Hi.
If anyone's here to make a public comment, they can make a public comment now. No one's online yet. I'm assuming we're in the right Zoom meeting. But if we'll just leave this open for the rest of the meeting, and if people want to make a comment before the end of the meeting, we will we'll take them then. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
All right. I do not have any announcements. If anyone else has any. And if we'll open the floor for public comment, if anyone has any public comments. If not, we'll move on to we're gonna postpone the swearing in of Evan Redmond for a little bit. And then why don't we invite up Ivan, Michael, and Salvador from Family of New Paltz to give us a presentation.
Great. Right. Come on up. Who is Ivan Echenito?
Hello.
Are you Chilean by
Hi,
chance?
guys.
Ivan, are you from Chile?
Yeah.
Neat. My husband's from Chile.
Huh?
The last name, my husband's from
Oh,
Chile.
oh, yeah.
And so I recognized the last name. I was like, he must be.
Last name Echenike?
No, but he has
Oh.
a friend whose last name was Echenito.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, you don't hear that name a lot around
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Sorry.
Oh,
Anyway,
very cool.
yeah, didn't mean to. Side thing.
All right, well, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you for
It's
having
been a
us.
while. It's nice to be
Yeah.
back, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Well, I asked for the meeting. I'm Michael Berg. I'm Family's Executive Director. This is Salvador Altamano Segura. He's the team leader for a couple of different things. He supervises Family of New Paltz and Ellenville. And he also is heading an effort that he's going to talk about further. We've been doing for a while Hispanic outreach, and we're going to expand that. So first, why don't you just talk about the last year or two for Family of New Paltz?
Okay, well, the last year or two, it's been a little rough with COVID,
Yeah.
we lost a lot of our volunteers.
Yeah.
We're starting to work with the college got some interns coming in, and
Great.
so they're chipping in, helping us out. We're just basically doing what we always do. We just help the community in whatever way they need, so. Whether it be food.
Yeah.
You know, referrals.
Mhm.
So we've been busy and, it's Selma's terrific. She's the assistant director there.
Mhm.
She's wonderful. So yeah, we're just doing what we do and continue to do what we do, and really appreciate your support.
We're lucky to have you here and
Well, and I
It's a
wanted to
little bit
say,
shy.
you know, this is not an easy year for us, and we really appreciate the consistent support the town has given us. But you know, there's a conversation that happens around family. It goes something like, oh yeah, I know I didn't know you did that. So my board wants me to go out and to tell people some of what we do that you may not know. So in it, and these are all services that are available and used by New Paltz residents. So in addition to the walk-in center, we have staff from adolescent services, we have staff from adult case management. We have some staff, but we will have more. We're training someone right now to provide domestic violence services. When I say case management, I want people to understand what that is, because it's the essence of what family is about. It basically is whatever the person needs to help them achieve what their goals are. So we set as a rule for the agency that we wouldn't tell people what to do, that people have enough people in their lives to tell them what to do. And that we wouldn't burden, and this is even more of a challenge in some respects, to burden people with our judgments of what they did. Because the minute that you do that, the door closes. And so setting those goals, we feel that we've built a safe place where people can get help. And that help has to include them figuring out what they want to achieve. If we tell them what, oh, you know what you should, it's not their decision and they won't own it. So that's case manager then becomes helping people to get entitlements if they need help with money, helping people with food, the so-called social determinants of health, which are food, housing, clothing, employment, life skills. Those are what we do. Unfortunately, the government divides its mix in a little as mental health, as substance abuse, but all of that relates to the services that case management does. So we have adult case management here, and we do a lot of work with it. Part of what they do is also reentry. For many years, more than 10 years, we've been providing reentry from state prison for people coming back to Ulster County. And we've also done work with the local jail. We applied to provide that service, but the mental health department is going to be the lead, and we're hoping that we'll be part of that mix. One of the things that we want to do more of with reentry is the families that are left behind, because they often lose their source of income, the parent figure, and those families can often get into jeopardy and even dysfunctions. So we've been working with that, and we will do more with that. With the child care council, when you mentioned that somebody couldn't come because the child care, I had a smile because it's such a bad situation. The county has lost more than half of its child care in the last 10 years, and particularly in the last 3 years. And it's understandable, because when the pandemic hit, what happened was that, let's say you had 6 children, but 3 parents lost their job or were working at home, so they pulled their children out because they couldn't afford it. Then they had only 3, which is really not viable. But then the parents of the 3 said, well, you can't bring in new children because you'd be jeopardizing mine. So we lost a lot of childcare. One of the things that is hopeful in that, and that we're working with the Chamber of Commerce, and I wanted the town to know, is that the problem with childcare, of course, is affordability, and they estimate that over 2 million women have not gone back to the workforce because they realized they couldn't afford it. What they were doing was working to pay their childcare. And there was a point in time when the government paid $300 a month and it brought half of the children out of poverty. But the government, particularly in New York, but also federal, are encouraging business to help with childcare. They're allowing you to write off 30% of the money that you might invest in childcare. The state has significantly raised the level of assistance so that right now, people that are at 300% of the poverty level are eligible for assistance. A family of three making $69,000 can get significant help to pay for childcare. This is, and the governor has actually proposed it to be even raised a little more. So now I feel our agency, but I also feel town boards like yourself need to help get that information out, because there's money that will really help families and it can make a huge difference. And hopefully it will bring people back into the workforce because we need it.
Mhm.
Now, let's see, what else do we do?
Yeah, the governor was talking about, a lot of the money gets left on the table because people just don't know they're even
Right,
Yes,
eligible.
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
We're doing some other stuff in terms of childcare in Columbia and Green, where we also have responsibility. We've made a deal with the community college there, and we're going to be offering a course in childcare.
Mhm.
If people graduate the course, they're eligible for up to $6,000 of money to open a childcare facility. That includes the first $150, which is fingerprinting, running you through all of that stuff.
Mhm.
But then there's physical plant stuff. Our agency can help define what those issues are.
Mhm.
We can also put them on food program. So we're working very hard now to rebuild the childcare network, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah. And so you're doing an initiative for the Latino community as well? Is that what you said you're
Well,
doing?
I'll let Sal talk about that,
Okay, because that's.
and then I'll cover a few
one of
more
the
things.
Yeah.
Big.
Well, besides my individual efforts, I can say that like Ivan, for example, he's a Spanish speaker and he's able to serve whoever speaks Spanish right there on the site in Family Newport. Our director in Ellenville as well, Tiffany Santiago, she's from Dominican Republic.
Mhm.
She also is a Spanish speaker. Our office in Kingston, we have at least 5 or 6 of us that speak Spanish. In lieu of that, we created last year a Spanish helpline, una línea de apoyo in español, but we had not promoted it a lot.
Yeah,
So I want us to have a lot more visibility with that.
sure. I'd never heard of it, so
right.
I'd love to push that. That would be
Well,
great.
first you have to
Yeah.
hire people that speak the language before you can promote it, you'll help people.
Of course.
But we've been working on that for a long time.
That's great.
So it is going to operate initially from, well, it is operating already between 9 and 8,
Mhm.
9 in the morning to 8 at night, Monday through Friday. See how it goes. Considering that the population of Ulster County is Spanish speakers or descendants are like 11% around there. So,
That's only the documented ones.
Yes,
well, according to the census, which also,
it's also
yeah.
the fastest growing population in Kingston.
so, and there is a huge need, and
Yeah.
there is a huge need with new arrivals. There is many people that don't know, so this can be a huge resource. I grew up in Family of Woodstock. I started as a case manager. I'm a team leader now, but I've been, little by little.
We raised them.
So, and I don't
Did a
have
good
any,
job.
at some point there, my heart was on that because my experience, I'm from Mexico originally. I came to the United States in my 30s. And I realized without speaking the language, and I realized the difficulties of navigating anything.
Yeah.
And I was, separated from my wife at the time, and I had 2 kids, and everything was a struggle.
Mhm.
So I kind of understand emotionally how it's like, and also the financial aspect. And
Mhm.
so when I started working for family, that was my focus. And we are trusted by the community, by
Mhm.
the Spanish speakers. Newport has made great efforts to engage with the farm workers,
Mhm.
and they have done that. And we have a great relationship with agribusiness as well. So we supply them through the COVID. Actually, we were supplying them. You know, the past administration made a huge statement and changed the definition of what public charge was. And in order for you to get any kind of legal status in the United States at whatever point if you qualify, one of the things that you cannot have in your record is to have been a public charge.
Right.
And a public charge is somebody who utilizes the support systems of the financial support systems. However, medical was never considered a public charge. So you get in a car accident and you're taken to the hospital and you didn't have insurance and Medicaid pays for it. That was not considered a public charge, but now it was. So just that change in definition had people not wanting to put their name on anything, especially the undocumented population.
Mhm.
And they have kids and they have children. And so what we decided to do is usually the pantry will serve a family, but we need a name. And so what we decided to do is just identify how many families are in need at the agribusiness
Mhm.
that they're serving the children. And we're about 30. So we will take the food bags for 30 families, drop them off, and they will pick them up. We don't need to get a name. We didn't need to get a. So, you know, we have done things like that. We have an intern also that is a Spanish speaker right now.
Mhm.
She graduated and she is going to work for us, hopefully.
We do a lot of translation.
I am also the diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility team leader.
Mhm.
And in that, we're also looking at the whole agency to have everything that we hand out, that we, every form, every single pamphlet or whatever will be in Spanish as well. It is important. And also our social media presence needs to be in Spanish.
Mhm.
Right now it is, but through Translate,
Mhm.
but we want to have it stand alone, like you don't have to like click buttons or whatever.
Right, you log
Um,
on and it's immediately in Spanish.
Right.
Right.
And we also looking at policies and, you know, in which ways we might, and this doesn't just apply to the Spanish speaker, but to any marginalized population.
Mhm.
How can our ways of intakes or the language that we use, how might that affect someone?
Mhm.
Or because ultimately our ultimate goal is what Michael was stating, to create a real safe space where people can just tell us what their need is, where they're at, so we can meet them there. So we are outreaching to all the Mexican stores, Guatemalan stores, Salvadoran stores, supermarkets.
Mhm.
We're talking with various other agencies. And we're trying to, well, we are outreaching into,
Mhm.
you know, we're going to have it. We're already having some flyers posted in places that we know people gather,
Mhm.
that so to gain that visibility. That being said, we all historically, we've been serving them for sure,
Mhm.
but we just want to make it more visible,
Mhm.
and perhaps enhancing it, especially now that it's a lot of new people.
Right.
So other things that we do with the lead agency in domestic violence. We run all the homeless shelters. We have 4 of them. We have a shelter for homeless individuals, adults. We have a shelter for homeless families. We have a runaway and homeless youth shelter, family house, which was actually been in existence since 1976. And we have a domestic violence shelter. And then we have 2 programs called Midway, which are really great programs that are very hard to fund. Their target population is 16 to 21-year-olds who are homeless and have no family support. And they can live with up to 18 months if they come in at 16 and haven't finished high school, 24 months. And they learn skills, they finish high school, some
Yeah.
go on to college, they get jobs
Mm,
and they survive.
mhm.
And they learn a lot of skills, social skills. We have two programs, one in Ellenville and one in Kingston. I would love to open up one in New Paltz. To be honest with you, I just don't know how to fund it.
Yeah.
But it's really a needed program. And we're seeing more and more kids that are abandoned, kids that don't have a home to go back to,
Yeah.
that are like 17, 18, not even finished high school and suddenly thrust into having to survive.
So your geographical, excuse me, just for interrupting, but your geographical area is what? Is it?
Also,
We,
It is
Ulster
all of
County,
Ulster County.
totally.
So when somebody comes in and needs some help.
You should
um,
send them to us.
No, my
Oh.
question is, I'm sorry, continuation part B. When they need help, do you need to know that they're from Ulster County? Is it specific? to
We don't
Ulster
ask.
County? You don't ask, because you
We
had
don't
said
ask.
before you don't ask, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. okay.
Well, you know, it's like this. We run the oldest continuously operating hotline in the country.
Yeah,
And we don't ask names,
right.
you know.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, we got him, our number was put on a lot of national warm lines.
Mhm.
And it got to a place where we were having trouble handling the work that we were doing. So we've actively asked that warm lines across the country remove our number. But we still, you know, it's warm lines is a place where people want to chat, where it's not really, it's not a suicide, it's not a sub,
It's not a hotline.
They just.
it's not a hotline.
need
And
conversation.
there's so much hotline need that we do perform chats or hanging out with people locally, but the need is very great now.
let me just interject it for a second. So New Paltz is open from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday.
Mhm.
However, we receive about 600 calls. After that, if you call New Paltz, the call will be transferred to the hotline. And they receive about 600 calls from New Paltz. And these are residents, some of them elderly, that are lonely, some of them depressed, that just need someone to talk. So it is a great service that. that they-
600 calls a week. You said?
No.
Oh,
Not total.
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 No, actually, it used to be more. And so one of the things that I'm looking at is, we haven't advertised the hotline in 20, 30 years.
Mhm.
Maybe we should let some of the more recent residents know about it.
Yeah.
Bec-
So a lot
But
of
we
it's just
still,
working
we're
on
getting
outreach.
huge and still getting substantial amount of calls in total. But I was disappointed that we only got 600 calls on the tie line from New Paltz.
Right.
I
So
think there's more need than that.
so the town board can help, like where you're here so that we can help you with outreach, trying to get
Absolutely.
more people. I think it's, yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
And
You know,
volunteers.
especially with the, the Latino community. I've been very involved with them for, I'm part Mexican. And so I've been very involved with them for a long, long time. I did outreach in the city of Poughkeepsie for a very long time with teenage girls and families and all that. And it's just, it's so cool, because it's growing exponentially.
Yeah.
And a lot of them just slipping right through the cracks, highest suicide rate right now is Latino girls between the ages of like 13 and 17 in New York State.
There is,
It's really sad.
We have,
I-
I'm sorry.
I organize, we have, I don't know if I wanna really talk about it, but anyway,
Yeah.
there was a lot
We
of,
can meet later.
there was some, it came to our attention that a lot of underage sex was happening between adults and young girls. And so we actually put it, and some of it is cultural, from these individuals coming from very small communities in the mountains in Central America. And that is kind of by 14, 15, a girl is supposed to already be starting a family or whatever. I'm not rationalizing and just explaining that there is a cultural piece into this, as well as some not, some just predatorial
Yeah.
behaviors. So we actually organized, I was part of in a collaboration to organize a huge meeting with women from this population, from this community, in which we didn't go into, because also it's a very macho society, we didn't go into like, we're gonna tell you how you should have, but it was more informational about the laws, the resources where they can get help. We talk about, we have a domestic violence, we have a person from the crime victims talking about human trafficking, which is also another huge piece of this. Some of these individuals come here because they don't have the resources, but also threaten their lives or whatever. So how they get the money to make the travel, they borrow. And the borrower, whoever lends the money, many times have a threat over their family members in either El Salvador or Guatemala or wherever they're coming from. So you have to do what they tell you and pay. Otherwise, the family pays back there. So, and that is part of this as well. So anyhow, so we did something in that regard, and we will continue. So we try to address those, whatever situation comes. And sometimes it's difficult,
Oh, you guys do a lot.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
We really appreciate it. I learned a lot. Yeah.
One other thing we do is we do a lot of adolescent services,
Mhm,
juvenile justice.
mhm.
There's a lot going on. I don't know if you're aware of it. There's a movement to raise the age so that they would not hold anybody under 12 as a juvenile delinquent. And so if that happens, there's gonna have to be some resources that are not criminal justice that will address 11-year-old that breaks the law. And we were part of a group that the county sent to be trained in restorative justice. And then we wrote a grant. This is now about 8 years ago. And I wrote the grant and I didn't believe it. The grant was for 7 to 15-year-olds that had committed a felony or a misdemeanor. I said, 7 to 15. So we did the restorative justice. It was a grant from DC, the criminal justice state, and they wanted to test models. And we chose a model. It was called the Juvenile Accountability Boards. And we'd take people like yourself and we would train you in restorative justice. And 3 of you would meet with an offender. And you would talk to him not as like this, but rather, what'd you do? Who did you hurt? How did you hurt your family? What are you going to do to fix this? We'd have circles where the person that was harmed would be part of the circle. And the goal would be to determine an appropriate action for the kid to do to restore, to make up for the damage that he had done. And my favorites, so we worked for 1.25 years. We had 54 young people, 7 to 15, that had committed a felony or misdemeanor. I was shocked. 51 of them didn't reoffend. Fabulous. I mean, you don't get those numbers.
That's great.
The money disappeared. We went nuts. Probation went nuts. So probation went to the county, and the county came up with $110,000, and we've been doing it ever since. My favorite story, though, is a kid, 9 years old. He defaced buses. That was his crime. Had this. So, well, what are you going to do? They decided after school he would ride the bus and he would help seniors on and off of the bus. So he did that. The goal of the project was he would have a case manager for 2 or 3 months, and then he would come back and report. Kid comes back 2.5 months later. Everybody's so proud of him. You really did a great job, and you don't have to do this anymore. What are you talking about? That's my job. And he did it for the rest of the whole school year because that was his job. And it spoke to the fact that we don't give young people an opportunity to do
That's what they
positive
need.
stuff.
Yeah.
So now we're doing that with the DA, and we're doing it with probation, and restorative justice is something that we should do more of. We're in the schools.
Yeah.
We're hoping that the county will expand the money and that we could go into the New Paltz School.
That would be great. That would be great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming and presenting this.
Yeah,
This is
thank you.
really great. We really appreciate it. This was
The other thing I wanted to say was, we've had some conversations, I've had some conversations with the mayor and the head of the new head of the college. Family's willing to help you with any problems that you can identify. If you want a survey, we would work on that. Our focus is the whole county, of course, but we've always felt that the southern part of the county doesn't get its share. And Kingston has Novo. As a result of Novo, they've really advanced and have a tremendous amount of resources,
Yeah.
including our own. So we want to find ways to work in the southern part of the county more. And so anything that you're up for, let us know, that we'll be part of the table.
I think there's more of a need than people realize.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know that
Yeah.
that's
You know
true.
it.
It's, you know, it's just
Yeah.
not as present
Yeah.
as some of the stuff that you see in Midtown or.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do support housing as well, and housing is a huge.
Yeah.
Yes, and I would say to the town board, since I chair the Continuum of Care, which is the housing agency for HUD.
Mhm.
The need for affordable housing is
That's
not gonna be solved in Kingston alone.
Yeah.
You must find
Oh,
ways
we've
to,
been talking and talking
Yeah.
about that.
And-
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'll bring a lot of resources if you decide to do a project or
Right.
look, try to
That's
help with that.
great. Thank you so much
you.
for coming and talking to us about this. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for the
It
time.
was
I know that we
really
took
eye-opening.
a lot of time, but I
Uh-huh.
really will feel bad if I don't say this. We really want to invest in the schools
Mhm.
and do prevention. So
Yeah,
hopefully one day we don't deal with adults.
Yeah. yeah,
Well, we've had
Because that's where-
success. It took 30 years, but we're getting into the
yeah.
schools.
That's great.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. It was really nice
Thank you,
meeting
guys.
you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gracias por estar acá.
De nada.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you. Bye.
These are the achievements of Family of Newport from past year.
Oh,
Thank-
great. Thank you. Wow, that's great.
I don't know if you could do this. How that you know, over the last years.
Can I keep it? Yeah, see it?
we can
You
make a
want it, you
copy.
can make copies,
Yeah.
can we? Yeah, because I'd like to look at that, because I'd like to give them a
Yeah, I
little
can have,
help with the Latino.
I
part of
can
this.
have Karen scan it and we can send a
That would be
digital
awesome.
copy.
That would be great. I would love that. That would be really cool, because he said a lot of things I had no idea about. I was like, wow.
So I think while they're waiting, why don't we just move forward with this?
Yeah.
We'll do the swearing in, but we'll
Maybe he doesn't-
make a motion to approve.
You know, I know a bunch of the families and so I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Les llamo porque quiero involucrarme con esto. Conozco mucha la gente de aquí, toda la comunidad latina, entonces a ver si podemos platicar en el futuro. Ok. Gracias por lo que están haciendo, ¿eh?
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.
So do you guys want to do the swearing in? You want to do the swearing in now?
You got everybody here?
So, I appreciate the town board allowing us to do this swearing in for tonight. For those who don't know, Officer Redmond has been here with the department since 2017 as a full-time police officer. And recently, the board approved a permanent sergeant's position, for him to be promoted him for a permanent sergeant's position. And so we appreciate you taking the time tonight to do the swearing in ceremony for him. Thank you.
Thank you.
So you're just gonna raise your right hand and raise the other. Basically, do the right side. I
I, Evan Redmond,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and abide by the rules and regulations of the New Paltz Police Department
and abide by the rules and regulations of the New Paltz Police Department
without consideration to a person's race, age, color, sex,
without consideration to a person's race, age, color, sex,
gender identity, religious creed, sexual orientation,
gender identity, religious creed, sexual orientation,
national origin, ancestry, handicap, or disability.
national origin, ancestry, handicap, or disability,
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of sergeant
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of sergeant
with fidelity and to the best of my ability.
with fidelity and to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Just need to sign right here. Okay. Thank you. You want to leave? Thank you.
Oh, we sure don't
Thank
already.
you very much.
I know, it looks so smart.
We want to start a mountain patrol.
A Mountie.
Oh, mounted.
Oh, I would love
I
it.
know, that's
Right.
what.
Is
That's
that-
an eight.
is that real?
Right. Are you kidding?
One of our new officers, she's the right horse.
Really? Oh, I got a
How cool
couple.
would that be?
Yeah, I would,
Yeah.
I got some horses you could borrow. They'd be amazing. Oh, that would be great.
Did you guys read that article about the paper with the guy with the horses on Main Street and people were upset about?
Oh, yeah, yeah. He lives right down the road from me, actually.
Maybe
Yeah.
need trained Mustangs or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm already, I've got the perfect horse for you. She's amazing. She would go up and down and she's a redhead, so she'd be,
Oh, she's good.
she's good. She'd be feisty. Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. She's bored, she's cold, so she'd be ready to go. Yeah, yeah. I'll put put the New Paltz Police like star on the edge.
Keep it in.
Keep it in. Yeah. That's too funny. Thank you, guys. Congratulations. Yeah.
Um, Make a motion to approve the consent agenda, 3A through 3E.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You know, Essie's here, right?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, just you say. Let's see, so, number 4, some sad news. Amanda Gatto is, her term was up at the end of this year.
Mhm.
She's on the planning board, been on it 6 years. But she's going to be stepping down now. And so, motion to accept the resignation of Amanda Gatto from the Town of New Paltz Planning Board and, email, but also the county planning board.
Mhm. Can we say no?
so-
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And so,
Thank you,
thanks,
Amanda.
Thank you,
Amanda.
Amanda. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a great
it's
job.
a thankless job.
Yeah.
You're,
Long term too.
yeah, it is, and, you know, so, and you get
Yeah.
yelled at even, no matter what.
Yeah.
Someone's always unhappy. It's a really hard job,
Yeah.
but we will be advertising, I think.
Mhm.
And so if anyone who's interested in applying, you know, some people I think saw it maybe on the agenda, and so, you know, at least one person, if not 2 people have applied,
Okay.
so,
Yeah.
we'll start doing interviews at the next meeting.
Right.
But
But it's fascinating.
It is, you
It
get
is.
to, you get to
It is.
really
It
work
is,
with
yeah.
like how New Paltz develops, you get
Yeah.
to see like how the land, yeah, it is important, really important.
So number 5 is, motion to authorize the highway department to purchase a PC and fleet maintenance program for their fleet of trucks and equipment for the highway fleet project, a total of $3,958 to come out of the highway budget.
Second.
Any questions? I don't think so with those documentations. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to approve the 2022 budget modifications.
Second.
This is just to kind of close out last year's budget. All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Aye.
And this next one is a motion to authorize me to sign the agreement allowing H2O Innovation, previously environmental consultants, to continue entering the DMRS. And so that is, I have to look it up, but it's basically, it's to report discharge, network discharge monitoring report. Like they just need another authorization. They've changed company names and we need to do that. So,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And no one else is on. But that's, we have the quote, we have public hearing for the local law. You know, and if anyone wants to discuss it, but you know, we kind of did a little bit last time, but this is a new law that was passed that allows a discount on taxes for volunteers if they've had, you know, 2 to 5 years of experience. They fill out paperwork. The chief has to certify it,
Fire department.
fire department or the rescue squad. And it's a way of incentivizing volunteers.
Mhm. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and so if anyone is listening, you know, we've
Yeah.
done the math, you know, you say, oh, well, you know, this is, you know, my taxes, like, if if we lose volunteers, we have one of the busiest, if not the busiest fire department in the county.
Mhm.
If you even compare it to Kingston and you take out the, they do rescue in Kingston. If you
Yeah.
just do fire calls, we have one of the busiest in the county. They do like on average 1 or 2 calls a day for volunteers, which is a lot.
Yeah.
But if we have to switch to a paid force, it's the equivalent of another police department. So because remember, it's 24/7.
Mhm.
So you need a crew of, at least, 10 people to respond to these calls. And so, you're talking, 3 shifts a day, 30, 25, 30 people, which is the equivalent of the police department.
Right.
Which,
And a volunteer.
so we're
Yeah.
talking
Mhm.
$3.5 million increase.
Mhm.
It'd be huge.
It'd be-
So we want to do whatever we can to,
Right.
to kind of keep the volunteer thing going as long as we can.
Where did this idea come from? Like, who started it? Was it somewhere else?
It came from the state.
The state?
Right, and it's they passed the state law, it was signed by the governor at the end of December. And so like, this is a problem everywhere in the state.
Right. Yeah.
And so like, this is a way to help towns and, villages and non-big cities without paid departments, way to kind of reward people for volunteering. Otherwise it's hard.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good idea.
I think it's-
I think the village has already passed it. I've
Mhm.
passed this along to the school board. I know other towns are doing it. We've been passing the laws around and
Mhm.
hopefully, and they have to be a volunteer in like, they have to live in New Paltz and they have to volunteer in New Paltz
Yeah.
to get the discount on the
Mhm.
New Paltz taxes.
Right.
So they have to do it for a
Have
bunch
to
of
be
years.
local.
And
Right.
so it is really like kind of self-serving.
Yeah.
And so.
So-
And in terms of the taxation, people are not going to pay more because of this. It's
Well,
just-
it will be
there
spread out, but we're talking, we have, I think, maybe 20 volunteers.
Mhm.
And so those 20 volunteers, they also have to live in New Paltz and own a house in New Paltz and have it be their primary residence in New Paltz.
Mhm.
And so that cuts it down a little bit. Some of them have apartments, they may be younger.
Yeah.
They maybe couldn't afford a house, so, we're probably talking 20 people.
Yeah.
And so, and we're talking like a 10% discount on their taxes. So, less than $1,000, probably on average.
Mhm.
Probably even less than that, probably like 500. And so spread that out over 3,000, 2,800 residences in the town outside of the village. It's
It won't be much.
it's
of a-
not much.
And I believe I did hear that that is in fact the case that people won't be paying more for this to be in place. It's that there will be slightly less
Yeah, it's,
coming in.
Yeah.
yes, it's a tiny amount not
Right.
coming in.
Well, I'm in favor.
That gets spread out,
To be
over
fair.
everyone.
Yeah.
And the consequences, if we lose volunteers, are much worse than
Right.
that.
Yeah, that's
So
a good
that's-
question, because that's what people will ask.
Yeah.
They want to know the impact and, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I
so-
support it, yeah.
No one's on
Yeah.
yet, but I don't think there are any comments. So I'd like to make a motion to, the law's all posted. I'd like to make a motion to approve the passing this law.
You have to do the lead agency and then that.
Okay.
Come with something.
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't do, I thought we did that at the last, meeting. I guess we just set the
Yeah.
public hearing.
Yeah.
So let me go through this here.
Seemed too easy. There's gotta be something else.
Not a-
Yeah.
So make a motion to declare this a type 2 action. Or do we declare make a motion to declare lead agency and declare this a type 2 action?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we do the law, right? So make a motion to approve, to amend chapter 27 taxation of the code of the town of New Paltz for the volunteer firefighter and rescue squad.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye. That's it. Well, I'm glad you're here, Rosanna, to keep me from making
Yeah.
mistakes. So thank you. And so motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
I.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thanks, Essie.